All right, doesn't matter. We're live now, so enough. Hello, everyone. This is a meeting of the Education Subcommittee of Ways and Means. It's the Ides of March, 3/15/2024, and we are going to take up the list had four bills, but one of them is not ready for us. The amendments are not ready for us to look at yet. So we'll start with House Bill 167. This is a bill that was brought before us as requiring students to get a dental care before they. Alistair, you're raising your hand. Is something missing or not?
Yeah, I don't think we're ready to take this one up either, sir. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, House Bill 167, I'm going to hold. All right, now we're going to move
Can I
in.
still ask a question on that
Yeah,
bill?
go ahead and do it.
So we're
Yeah,
ready when we do it next time.
right.
Would that be similar to providing the list of immunizations?
Yes, but we're going to amend the bill to the point where we're not really ready to put that requirement on, and we're
Okay,
just going to have some information in handbooks and online about the necessity and significance of dental health and the number of the health department, so you can contact them if you want to find a dentist that you can afford.
great,
And
thank you.
that's what it's going to be reduced to. Um, well, we all have another meeting, but because it doesn't matter if we move it now that Alistair doesn't have the amendments ready to vote on in I can do it, committee. There we go. All right, so let's move on to House Bill 428, which came to us as a bill that would have had community schools, and we've been distributing funds to them. The general feeling was this was far too great a responsibility, and perhaps one that even community schools coordinators were not equipped to do when they were actually giving money. We're secondary on this. It's come over from appropriations. The changes are that we're going to have community schools and local school systems identify students, and mostly organically by like you used to do when you filled out your lunch program thing that you needed a free lunch, going around school and locating students who seem to be in housing difficulty and helping them to connect with the Department of Housing and Community Development. And that department then can award them money that is actually going to be put in the budget, it appears, to help them find and afford housing for a start. Before we get to Hornberger's question, Alistair, any details I missed?
No, I think you covered the program and the amendments
Okay, I
well.
just always like to make sure I'm thorough. Mine's usually the elevator version, so I like to make sure you have it. Delegate Hornberger.
Yeah, my concern here would be that you can be an extremely low poverty student and be in a non-concentration of poverty school. So in terms of
That's true.
steering the benefit to the person that needs it the most, um, you can be a very poor student in a very rich school. So I see
Yeah,
that you're trying to get the community liaison to administer that, and inherently they're not at a non-concentration of poverty school. But uh, I'm concerned there that it's not equitable.
okay.
It will not reach everyone, I think, but it will reach those who qualify, who are at the concentration of poverty schools. So, I do think there may be special concerns with, although it's not a perfect metric, where there is concentration of poverty, there may be a greater need for rental assistance and other improvements in the community. But I do see your point that it doesn't go to everyone who meets the requirements under the bill as amended.
Are
I
these
think, and I think too.
community people allowed to reach
No, go ahead,
outside of
Kevin.
their school?
Currently, to be eligible for the program under the bills amended, you have to attend a community school, or the student of the family has to attend a community school.
Yeah, I find that concerning. But thank you for answering the question.
Okay, thanks. Delegate Miller.
I completely agree with Delegate Hornberger. We have a lot of areas of rural poverty, and we're already focusing so much on the community schools that we're really not reaching a lot of those kids. And then my other concern is when you're talking about organically identifying, we already have so many ways to identify in the community schools kids that are at risk. And so what does it look to I like to identify others organically? So I'm a little nervous about that language and what position that would put a child in to talk about their circumstances. So that's those are my two concerns still.
Yeah, and your first concern, of course, is reflecting the Delegate Hornberger's. The second one is one, anybody who I taught in the school, kids didn't often self-identify as needing school lunches because they were embarrassed. It pointed out that in the community schools, that poverty is so prevalent that kids are accustomed to identifying themselves, and so it may not be as much of a problem here. The reason I had an answer to that is because I brought that concern also, you should know, when I saw the amendments. Delegate Fair, I saw a hand. Were you going to shed some light for us, or was I so
No,
well
I had a
spoken?
thought. You completely wiped away my thoughts, so I'm done. I'm out.
Just
I don't have
because
any questions.
just because of the inaneness of what I said, or okay. So we have the amendments before us. Do I have an emotion on the amendments?
Move favorable.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. On the amendments, any further discussion? All right, all in favor of the amendments as shown, please raise your hands. And I'm assuming that's a hand up by Delegate Wu. Opposed. Okay, and Delegate Miller and Delegate Hornberger are opposed. We do add the amendments. On the bill as amended, is there a motion or any more discussion?
Move favorable.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Properly seconded. All in favor of the bill as amended, if there's no further discussion. Oh, wait a second. Didn't do that right. All right. Raise your hands, please, with the favorable motion. I have 1, 2, 3. Okay. And opposed. Delegate Hornberger and Delegate Miller. Okay. That will be up for voting in moments. The other bill we have is a superintendent training bill. It's actually going to be the joining of two bills. The bill we're dealing with is House Bill 1287, which has a lot of things, but we're striking a good deal of it. But what's going to stay is that up to this point, superintendents, both the state superintendent and local superintendents, were encouraged to complete a training by the end of their term. This bill is going to make it mandatory that they run through this training program. And the bill's repetitive because it does it on all levels. It does it for superintendents, local superintendents, and then of course CEOs. That in that case it applies to Prince George's County and Baltimore City because they call their chiefs of schools chief executive officers. There's some what's coming from 1326 to go into it is some of the specificity on the training things, and I'll read it because you probably don't have 1326 in front of you, since indeed that wasn't the bill that was listed. It says the research will have a review of research regarding the benefits to students from access to high quality and diverse teachers, methods to attract highly qualified teachers from diverse backgrounds who reflect the demographics of the students they teach, and best practices for teacher retention, including teachers from diverse backgrounds. This is not an exclusive list. These are things that will be added to the training. It also says that there will be done a review of the research regarding methods to attract and retain inclusive workforce in which every educator is motivated, valued, listened to, respected, etc. These are the big changes of 1326 added into this section of code 6-124. We're borrowing those into this to be a little more specific about the training.
Amen.
We all will, Delegate Wilkins. If you want to mute, that would be great. Delegate, will you have your hand up? You have a question, sir?
Yes. So what happens, because now it's mandatory, right? So you need to have a consequence if it's mandatory, if they didn't follow. What happens if the school hired a superintendent, they didn't go through the training? Are you going to fire them?
Well, I think they would take action against them. I believe they would fire them right off, but they have time. What's the time period, Alistair, that they have to complete it in?
So there's no time period is currently laid out. The training itself is going to last between 12 to 24 months. I've heard that all 24 superintendents are, as this training is rolled out now, going to be enrolled in the first round of training, and in future cohorts of training, everyone else in the school systems will be included. There are, things that are in the code to ensure that the provisions of law are followed, but there's no mandate that it start at a certain time. It's just that you have to complete it at some point during the tenure of your term in office.
And was there any negative resistance from PZAM for this general concept? I don't believe there was.
I don't believe so,
I'm
sir.
answering my own question. Yeah, thank you. Delegate
So-
Hornberger. Oh,
Follow on.
Follow
How
up.
about acting superintendent?
We don't have
There-
acting superintendent. How would it cover that, Alistair?
I believe they would also have to complete the training. If they leave their position and someone else takes it before they complete the training, then the new person would have to take the training.
Okay, thank you.
Delegate Hornberger.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm thinking back to a case, and it might have been either Prince George's or Baltimore or something, but there was an instance where there was sexual harassment from a superintendent. Are there any guidelines in place right now that mandate the training akin to what we as legislators have for superintendents?
Oh, that's an interesting question. That'd be a good thing for another day. Alistair, do you know, is there anything of ethics training for them?
I don't believe that there is in statute. I presume that county boards of education frequently adopt that, and that it's up to the county boards of education to determine exactly how they want to do that kind of training. I don't think there's anything in statute, but I can double check and get back to you.
We should make them go through it too. We have to, right? So I don't think we're going to put it in here, but that's a good idea for another day for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to offering that as an amendment if it's not something that's currently mandated.
I would resist that right now at this late stage. I think we might end up losing the bill if we tried to amend it at this point. Alistair, you want to weigh in?
Yeah, I would just say that this training is it's kind of a high level training that's designed. It was part of the blueprint for Maryland's future, and it's designed to teach people in leadership techniques that are part of blueprint like thinking of how to improve the schools. So it's not.
Gotcha. It's not a behavior.
Yes, that's right. That's
Okay,
right.
all right. Thank you. I appreciate that indulgence.
Thanks, Kevin. You always have the good thought. I really like that. We have some amendments to the bill, which are as described. Do I have a motion on those amendments?
Move favorable.
Okay. And do I have a second on them?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor of the amendments as described, raise your hands, please. Do we have any opposed? None on this one. On the bill as amended.
Move favorable.
Thank you,
Second.
Delegate Patterson. And I think I heard a second from Delegate Fair. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor as the bill is amended, please raise your hands.
Aye.
And opposed. Seeing none. Those are the only two bills that we're prepared to take up today. There will be another meeting of the Ed Subcommittee, maybe later today, so that we can get the bills ready for voting tomorrow. So that, keep your ear to your emails. Okay. Thank you.